Welcome to Own Your Words. Caged, word meaning, with 10 example sentences. Pronunciation. Caged. Caged. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. To confine or keep in, or as if in a cage. 2. A caged bird or animal is inside a cage. 3. To put or keep birds or animals in a cage. Examples. 1. She spent some time there before flying back to join her caged companion. 2. No man she'd ever been with could tolerate the part of her that refused to be caged. 3. We are suffering under the effects of caged competition, already wrought up to agony. 4. Ripton did not enjoy his introduction to the caged bird of beauty that night. 5. At these words I had the horrible sensation of being caged, and worse, transported into the bargain. 6. Bears are caged before having their bile drained at a farm in China. 7. Nicaraguans who have been deported tell about how they were caged, with no attention to their health, he said. 8. It was my first and hopefully only trip in the caged back of a siren-screaming squad car. 9. Moments of primal screaming occasionally burst through in this caged beast of a song. 10. Move them around to complete lines to rescue the caged balloons at the top. Captive, word meaning, with 14 example sentences. Pronunciation. Captive. Captive. It is an adjective and noun. Adjective meaning. 1. Being in captivity. 2. A captive person or animal is being kept imprisoned or enclosed. 3. A captive audience is a group of people who are not free to leave a certain place, and so have to watch or listen. A captive market is a group of people who cannot choose whether or where to buy things. Adjective example. 1. Her heart had begun to pound inside her chest like a captive animal. 2. We all performed dances before a captive audience of parents and patrons. 3. If it is successful, captive breeding could restore the population to 200 in 7 years. 4. News that the soldiers were captive after being held at gunpoint caused panic. 5. In the cinema, know that they have a captive audience. 6. Long-distance airline passengers are the perfect captive market. 7. Companies exporting to third world countries often get a captive market for their goods. Noun meaning. 1. Someone who is kept as a prisoner, especially in a war. 2. A person held in the grip of a strong emotion or passion. 3. A person or animal whose ability to move or act freely is limited by being kept in a space. A prisoner, especially a person held by the enemy during a war. Noun example. 1. Ella's sensitive. She was a captive when we found her, he explained. 2. So whether God will send me back, or whether I'll be I cannot tell. 3. She would have a captive porter whom she could work for almost nothing. 4. Captors and captives stood in dumb impatience for the roll call to be finished. 5. All the captives were kept in a darkened room with their hands tied. 6. The rebels promise to release their captives unharmed if their demands are met. 7. In many cultures, the captives taken in war have tended to be women rather than men. Carefree. Word meaning, with 12 example sentences. Pronunciation. Carefree. Carefree. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. A carefree person or period of time doesn't have or involve any problems, worries, or responsibilities. 2. Without cares, free of concern or worries. Easy, casual, without difficulty. 3. Having no worries or problems. Examples. 1. Westcott, Morris said, was more carefree than Peterson, who had a military background. 2. Perhaps the easy life of peace and independence had made them lazy, too carefree. 3. This denim-on-denim look inspiring me to stick with the classics and be more carefree. 4. They certainly gave the impression of a carefree couple who delighted in each other's company. 5. It overshadowed the rest of what should have been the most carefree days of my life. 6. He knew she was determined to give them the kind of carefree childhood she hadn't had. 7. The lack of a scar on his face made him look like a different person, carefree and happy. 8. I loved that I caught her in a rare moment, being carefree and unburdened. 9. How anyone with blood on his hands could still look so carefree is beyond me. 10. There was an expression of carefree happiness on the faces of both father and daughter. 11. Victor's life feels carefree. Everyone on the street seems to be themselves immensely. 12. You can come across as being rather carefree and disinterested in serious relationships. Careful. Word meaning, with 12 example sentences. Pronunciation. Careful. Careful. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. If you are careful, you give serious attention to what you are doing, in order to avoid harm, damage, or mistakes. If you are careful to do something, you make sure that you do it. 2. If you consider all consequences and do a task thoughtfully, take your time and watch what you are doing, you are being careful. 3. If you are careful with something such as money or resources, you use or spend only what is necessary. Examples. 1. Be very careful with this stuff. It can be dangerous if it isn't handled properly. 2. He has decided to prosecute her after careful consideration of all the relevant facts. 3. What we now know about the disease was learned by full study of diseased organs. 4. It is important, I think, for everyone to be careful about claiming victory. 5. You will have to make a special effort to train your child to be careful with her pocket money. 6. After careful consideration of the proposal, I regret to say that we are unable to accept it. 7. We thank the referee for a very careful reading of the manuscript and helpful suggestions. 8. These were given to the Misses by President Theodore Roosevelt, so be careful, he said. 9. I get up slowly, careful not to make the fire escape rattle and clang with my movement. 10. I kept a careful eye on the back of Miles's neck as I wrote my name on the cover. 11. The horse himself is frightened by the rats, and we have to be careful when he rears up. 12. He presses his body against the wall, careful to stay in the shadows while awaiting. Catastrophic. Word meaning, with 12 example sentences. Pronunciation. Catastrophic. Catastrophic. It is an adjective. Meaning. 1. Something catastrophic is very harmful or disastrous. 2. Something that is catastrophic involves or causes a sudden terrible disaster. 3. If you describe something as catastrophic, you mean that it is very bad or unsuccessful. 4. Causing sudden and very great harm or destruction. 5. Involving or resulting in substantial, often ruinous medical expense. Examples. 1. The minister warned that if war broke out, it would be catastrophic for the whole world. 2. The aftershocks which followed the catastrophic earthquake in January continued for weeks. 3. Lots of them are astonished I'm still in this country of catastrophic cancer statistics. 4. There are many charities starting up to help families affected by the catastrophic event. 5. The loss of the championship was catastrophic to the dedicated team members. 6. At 20 minutes to midnight on that date, Hebgen Lake suffered a catastrophic quake. 7. Whatever structures were holding it up give way in a sudden and catastrophic failure. 8. She's aware of other pains and pulls in her body, all potentially catastrophic. 9. So catastrophic was the decline that the Siriono passed through a genetic bottleneck. 10. She's aware of other pains and pulls in her body, all potentially catastrophic. 11. If the cells are from a donor, can they be kept from causing a catastrophic immune reaction? 12. The movie shows heroes risking their lives to save Earth from a catastrophic collision. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos. Meanings and examples are available in video description.